Hi there. Welcome to today's webinar about nurturing potential customers for health and wellness professionals. My name is Humphrey Ng. I'm with Juuga Marketing. So welcome aboard today. For those of you who may see that, hey, how come I'm in the daytime and you may not be in the daytime? I'm actually recording from overseas, so that if the connections is a little bit slow, then please. Sorry for the inconvenience, and hopefully I can send you a little the slide deck afterwards as well. So why health and wellness professionals and how they are unique? So think about it. For a lot of health and wellness professionals, you are your own brand, because when you think about it, health and wellness professionals, we're talking about dentists, we're talking about massage therapists, RMTs, chiropractors, acupuncturists, naturopaths. These are people who trust their lives and their body with you. And if they don't know about you and they don't know what you're capable of, it's really quite difficult for them to go ahead and use your service. So that's why you see and you hear a lot of wellness professionals that they are building their business out of referral. However, in the day and age of digital marketing, health and wellness can definitely use that kind of aspect to attract business to come in and see them and trust them before they see the service. So let me tell you a little bit more about myself. So about Juuga Marketing. So we've been in digital marketing since 2012. So it's been 7 years now. Some of my previous experience, we range from a travel startup to working for a large tech enterprise. So anything in between we've actually worked with. So we're quite experienced with understanding the different stages of business and what they're paying, what they're going through. And in terms of the certification, we actually certified in Google Analytics and Google Ads. We are certified consultant for ActiveCampaign, in which we're going to talk a little bit about after. We're also a Facebook Pro agency, and we manage about $20,000 a month for our ad clients. So let's tell you a little bit more about today's marketing world. So there's typically 4 stages before during a customer acquisition role. So if you start looking from the top, people actually come in on your website as a web visitor. However, the difference between a visitor and a lead is something that you have captured their attention with. Say, for example, if you start going to different websites, they may ask you to download a white paper. So even though you've stumbled upon their website, the minute that you would enter your email in exchange for their white paper or for any of the social media kind of exchange, then in exchange that they will get your contact, that will make you become a lead because you have shown interest in their product or service. However, because this is most likely a freebie or a very low-cost item, you are not quite yet their customer. So once you have even shown that you have interest, that you are a lead, businesses still will need to nurture you with regular updates and, for example, a newsletter or, for example, a promotion. Think about your favorite retail store, for example, how they send you emails once a week or once every few weeks. And they'll tell you, hey, we have these new items coming in, we have these new sales coming in. That's the nurture part, is turning you from lead into a customer. So in order to do that, they need to send you an offer that you can buy, that gives you an incentive to buy. And after you've become a customer, right, you really need to impress them, the clients, so that you would actually keep referring business to them or even going back to them for a second or third or fourth time. So this is really how the marketing process is. It's not unlike any offline or any brick and mortars business, but the major difference is that because you're online, and because there are many other competitors out there, you really need to figure out how to capture the lead as well as how to nurture these leads. So today we're going to be focusing on the nurturing side. So that's the part that we turn from a lead into a customer. So there are actually many channels that you can nurture somebody who's interested in you. So a big part is email. So when you start subscribing to email newsletters, okay, you can actually receive the message coming in. Maybe sometimes they do it monthly, sometimes they do it weekly, sometimes they do it daily, depending on the nature of the business and also on the offer. So that's email. We'll talk a little bit about email automation a little bit in a few slides. So blogs, for example, blogs does a couple of things. So blog number one, it actually helps your Google search result, so that Google actually knows that you have fresh content coming into your website, and that you have an update, and they will actually come in and index your page more frequently. At the same time, when customers sees that you have a blog and that you actually write stuff that is relevant to them and that will show your expertise and your knowledge to them. A newsletter, either a physical newsletter or a digital newsletter, it just constantly give them communication. And again, you can actually reuse a lot of the articles that you've written in your blogs, and you can put them into a newsletter. Social media touches. So everybody, 90% of the time, people who are on their phone are on some sort of social media, either Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. These are the channels that you as a health professional can use in terms of social media touches. Videos right now is actually very big, especially for topics that are difficult to convey in the text. Having it as a video, as explained in video, would actually helps a lot, and people can see your face, people hear your voice, so they're more likely that they will be interested in. Now, in terms of email newsletter, there's actually some legal issues. So in Canada, I know some of you may not be in Canada, but if you're in US, there's the can spam law, and if you're in Europe, there's also the GDPR. So they're quite similar in the nature, is that you need to get their implied consent. Yeah, implied consent. So meaning that unless you have an existing business relationship or club member, right, or that you have given a valid consent in writing or in oral, so you really don't have the consent to send them an email or digital communication. So if you think about it, Facebook, if people join your group, then that's a consent that they have. Or if they have subscribed to receive ads through Facebook, then that is consent that they can have sent. But in terms of sending direct email to them, you really need to ask them in writing. So when you're capturing the email, you see the little checkbox that says, oh, I agree to receive communication from you. That's the line that you really need to satisfy it for the Canadian anti-spam law, as well as the can spam. GDPR is a little bit more complicated, and we can get into that at the end, or you can email me any questions that you have, and I'll try to answer them for you. So for the for the CASL law, there is a time limitation. So if you have talked to this client or this potential person the last 2 years, then you would also have their consent. So for each identification of the email that you sent to them, you need to include your mailing physical address as well as a contact phone number in order for them to say, for example, unsubscribe or contact you. Okay, and you need to provide truth in the advertisement. Okay, so what are some of the popular email programs? I'm sure you may have heard of some of them before. So MailChimp is one of the big ones that has been quite popular for a lot of health and wellness professionals. MailChimp is very good, and I highly recommend a lot of people who start out in email marketing start off with that. Constant Contact, they tend to be a little bit more antique with larger enterprise or businesses because they are one of the earlier ones in the game. Aweber is another very popular one with coaches and with speakers. So these are the quite simpler ones because they offer an easy platform for you to simply write the email, send it to your list, and you can track them. However, since technology has really progressed quite quickly, we have another breed of the email programs that would connect and combine with a CRM. For those who don't know what a CRM is, CRM stands for Customer Relations Management. It's a software that will say who are the people in your contact form, and you can actually manage them by seeing at what stage of the buying cycle that they're in. So if you combine an email program with a customer relationship management software, the power is actually it's a very powerful software to do, because think about the idea that using an email, if you know somebody who opens the email, that means one, they're engaged, and if you actually can see what pages that people click on and what links that people are click on your email, you can further understand your potential lead and see what their interest is. So some of the software that's been doing this, this keeps jumping on me. So some of the software that's doing this is ActiveCampaign, in which I'm a certified consultant for. Another very famous one is HubSpot and Infusionsoft. So these are the software that would combine an email program with a customer relations management software. So let's talk a little bit about MailChimp, because most of you are using that to begin with. So MailChimp is one of the most popular email marketing platform. So it's very easy when you have a website, when you have a WordPress website that may feature your business, or it may be able to connect to Shopify, in which if you are selling any products, any nutritional or supplements product through Shopify, it actually connects. MailChimp connects that very nicely. It also connects very well with Eventbrite, in which many of you have signed up the event from. So easily when you sign up, we can actually receive the email and actually can move it into a MailChimp quite easily. And MailChimp, the beauty about MailChimp is that it actually does quite a lot of different connections. And it does some automations as well. So what I mean by automation is that if you have a chance to shop at Amazon, or you just browse around in Amazon, sometimes you add the product to a cart, or all you did is just browsing. But if you add it to the cart, you enter your email address, and then at the end of the day, if you don't finish it, you're really looking at a couple of emails sending from Amazon that saying that, oh, you may have forgot something in your shopping cart. And that is what an abandoned cart automation is. So MailChimp does have the capability to do some basic automation, such as abandoned cart. But however, if you're getting into a little bit more sophisticated, then MailChimp is a little bit inadequate in that sense. They're nice, easy to use interface. They're one of the best to create a email template that you can send out every single week or every single month, depending on how often you nurture these clients. And the best part is that it's free. It's free up to 2,000 subscribers and 12,000 emails per month. That means that per month you can probably send it to 6 subscribers if you have 2,000 subscribers. With the free option, it is true that there is a MailChimp banner at the bottom, but a lot of people just go past that. It's not a big deal. But what I want to talk about today too is also ActiveCampaign. So ActiveCampaign builds on what MailChimp does best, is that it has a email platform that you can write email, and it can connect to many of the websites such as WordPress, Eventbrite, Shopify. These are the major ones that it can connect to. And it can actually connect to a lot more through the use of a Zapier. But what it has internally is that it combines itself with a CRM. So with a customer relations management program, what you can do is that you can create an automated complex workflow by combining triggers, action, and logic. Okay, this is a long one. So what does that mean? So when I say combining triggers, action, and logic, think about how a regular website visitor comes into your website. For example, if you're a health and wellness business, you probably want to do two things. One thing is that you want to set up a consultation that for the clients to see you. The second thing is that you probably have some physical products that you want to sell on the website. So these are the two things that many health and wellness professionals need. So think about how a person would come into your website. They probably have some symptoms. They probably want to read about what you have offered. They probably found your website through Google, either through an ad or an organic or a Facebook page that comes into your website. So once they come into your website, they look at what your product or your service can solve. So they look at the product page or the service page. Okay, the second thing is that they'll probably want to look at something like an FAQ, a frequently asked question page. So just to get understanding about, hey, how is your shipping policy or return policy like? Who are the testimonial, for example? So FAQ, testimonial, and then they may think about it to whether they buy or not. So a lot of these are triggers. So triggers are, for example, if they have gone to a page, if they have hovered above a button, if they have clicked on a button, if they've clicked on a video, that's a trigger or an action. But if they've gone to a page, then that's an action as well. So by able to measure what some of your email subscribers has done on your website, ActiveCampaign can show you and say, these are your VIP, your very important clients. Okay, VIP is very important person, but what I mean is very important client. So this is how useful it can be to identify whether these email subscribers are here just for looking around, or are they ready to buy. If they're ready to buy, get a notification through ActiveCampaign, and then you can get your salesperson or yourself, just give them a call and say, hey, by the way, we have a promotion going on, would you like to come in? And that would increase your conversion and your sales by quite a bit, I'm sure. So there's something called the drip campaign as well that it can offer through ActiveCampaign, is that every day you may want to send them a checklist. So for example, one of the chiropractor, he sends us something like a stretch of the day. So he will send out every, for the first 30 days, he will send out one stretch per day. And then at the end of each stretch, in terms of a sale, they'll say, oh, how is your back doing? Do you want to call a consultation? So usually by the 6th or 7th day, people would have an interest because they've garnered the trust, and they will start sharing the stretches, or that they would be inclined to come in for a consultation. There is a cost for ActiveCampaign. In terms with the CRM option, it's $40 a month for 500 subscribers. They also have a non-CRM version, and that's $9 a month, which is a very, very good deal. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the lead magnet. So what exactly is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that would attract you from browsing the website and exchange for something of value. So in terms of the health, it can be health and wellness issue. It can be a white paper, what studies that you have done. what studies that you can that your industry has done, then that would be a lead magnet, because people are interested to solve their problem. So what a lead magnet needs to be is that it needs to be relevant, it needs to solve a problem, and it needs to be action oriented. So, and the last thing, of course, is that it needs to offer a high perceived value. So if you just say, oh, I'm going to do a lead magnet, that sometimes can be a free consultation. Okay, I'm not going to highly suggest that yet in terms of the health and wellness, because you're using your time in exchange for an email that they have no obligations to do. However, I would recommend is that create a lead magnet such as a paper, a white paper to describe a certain condition, or even make a video like what I'm doing now, okay, to or help host a event like I'm doing now, so that they feel like they can solve some of the problems, and yet there's an interaction in between. But at the end of the day, you have to think about, really, do my audience, does my target audience want to engage with you in exchange with your email through this lead magnet? So really ask that question. All right, so talking about some of the funnels that we can do in terms of bringing leads from a lead to a close to a sale. So when we talk about the top of the funnel, it's really the first time that people engage with you. So these will be a very good lead magnet. Okay, a very good lead magnet. So the top of the funnel, it's when they first see you. The middle of the funnel, it's when they have seen you, but they need to continuously engage with you. The bottom of the funnel, really, it's towards the closing. So for example, if you are if the clients are ready to buy, this is what they're looking to do. So let's go through one by one. So for top of the funnel, this will be your typical lead magnet. A lot of them would be educational articles. So that's the white paper that we talked about. Introductory videos. So a quick short video, no more than 5 minutes, just to talk about and the solution that you may have and how that will benefit your clients. You also want to talk about by having a short introductory ebook. So usually I've seen health coaches or health and wellness professionals to have something that's about 5-page or so kind of ebook that outlines what the symptoms are, what solutions that they have, as well as what other suggestions that they have, what some of the references that they have within that 5-page ebook in a downloadable format. Another thing that you can try is having a checklist. So your daily health checklist, for example, a worksheet, a nutritional worksheet. That will be a great low-cost way for you to acquire a lead. So people would be interested in say, oh, this is your 30-day checklist, and then they would be able to use their email and download the checklist. So once you've gotten their email, okay, you need to keep them engaged. So this is the middle of the funnel part. So a lot of times, if you continue wanting to build trust, you really need to do a couple of things. So building trust is one of them is using how-to video. So how-to video, put your face and put your voice in front of them, so then they can garner more trust. Case studies is, do they actually, can they relate to what the people in your case studies have done? So have you treated people like them? So this is what the feeling that they were looking for. A product description, and that's an easy one because you try to want to get them a little bit more in-depth knowledge, showing them what kind of benefits that your product has, as well as what kind of feature that your product has. Okay. For a lot of coaches, long and deep dive ebooks. So this is when you start publishing, you may have like a half of a book that's being published that you may want to send them different chapters that you can send, that you can again make you show that you are the expert within your field, and garner the trust. The whole part about middle of the funnel is really garnering trust. Webinar replays and presentation slides. So when you do webinars like this, like today, for example, definitely use them as a replay and use them as a presentation slide that you can send to them. So towards the bottom of the funnel, this is when people are almost ready to buy. So they just need something that you can push them over the edge. So some of the examples would be a testimonial. So people who have used your service, if you can film them, if you can show them their face and say, oh, why is this beneficial for me, and what you have learned from the course, or what that you have gained from your service. So that would be the testimonial. Demo videos. So if you are doing a service or a software, a lot of times it's very difficult to help people understand. So having a video would show them this is how some of the things works, and again, building the trust. Product or service reviews. This is quite similar to testimonials. Competitor comparison table. So this is a big one. If you have competitors, and if you know what strength and what weaknesses that you have that your competitors don't, make sure you create a comparison table, because people can put in perspective, especially if you can compare to a larger brand, and that people can say, oh, okay, this is actually why I want to choose you over them. And of course, the last one is discount and special promotions. So that was a big one. So that would be more like email. Sorry, that would be like more like if it's a New Year's promotion, if it's a Mother's Day promotion. These are the things that you can actually push them over the edge and say, oh, when you're ready to buy, they know you well enough, they're ready to buy. That's the offer. Okay, my slide's jumping on me quite a bit. Okay, so I want to talk to you about a little bit about conversion funnels. So what exactly is an email conversion funnel? So when people are sent the email, opt in with an email by having a lead, people would be like, oh, I'll be like to sending emails from you, getting emails from you. So for example, this would be one of the online course that a speaking coach or that a wellness coach may have online. So they will be saying that once they have opted in, once they have received a white paper or a lead magnet, you as a business should continue to communicate with them, right? So for example, if you have a course that you want to promote, okay, on the first day, you really want to start describing the free online course, okay, and showing them what benefits it to sign up. And if they are interested to sign up, then it will go to this line and says, and because they have already signed up for the course. But if they know they're not ready to sign up yet, then you can wait for a day, you can wait for 2 days, wait for 5 days, doesn't really matter. This is just an example. So let's say I want to wait for a day. So on day 2, we don't send them anything, but day 3, we send them an email. This email will be the sneak peek inside the course. So this is more of an inside course, okay, with an actionable tip to use. So this will be a second email that kind of gain more trust from them. But so again, if they sign up, goes to the end, doesn't do anything. But if they don't sign up, you wait for a day. Again, so on day 5, the next one, you're going to be sending them testimonial from which people who have taken the course. So again, adding the social proof. And again, if they don't sign up, day 7, okay, send them an emotional message that may evoke fear of missing out. So FOMO, fear of missing out, it's really a big thing. It's really a big thing, because if they don't sign up now, they're really missing the chance to solve the problem. So this is big. Yeah. So again, if they don't sign up, you can keep sending the message, but sometimes enough is enough. So usually I would recommend clients that if you send them maybe 3 or 4 messages, and if they don't respond, then just let it be. Sometimes people are not ready, but you can put them onto a more of a newsletter, regular cycle, but less frequent type of email. So some of the tips and tricks for doing this. Definitely the first thing is to segment your list. So when you have a big list of one big list and you don't know anybody who has engaged with you previously, it's very difficult to send them a very customized message. So what I mean by segmenting your list is that if you have one list, try to separate them to see, have they visited you? Have they purchased your product or service? Have they read your ebook? Have they done something? So the more that you can segment your list, the better that you can target your audience. That's number one. Number two, use personalization. So personalization, it's pretty much like hi. Just don't leave that blank, but hi using a name. Hi Humphrey. Hi Tracy, for example. So having a name that is associated to the person's email is quite important. But in order to get that name or get that personalization information, you need to ask them, right? Because sometimes when you're capturing the lead, all you're getting is just an email. So I would highly recommend that you get a little bit more information from them. For example, we can probably get to understand where they're from, depending on where they open up their email. Okay, then you can probably set up a different campaign or a different message for people who are living in different geographical areas. Consistency. So being consistent with your message, with your branding in your email is actually quite important. Make sure that you have that. Proofread, making sure that there's no editorial error. Testing. So when you testing the email, you can see whether they can be clicked, if there's any layout issues on the email. Tracking your performance. So what it means is really seeing, hey, what email gets more people to read, sending it at what time, what day of the week. These are things that are very measurable, and it varies very much depending on the type of industry. A lot of people are telling me that it works best to send out email on a Tuesday, which is probably true for now, Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock actually. But when everybody starts sending it during that day, the time will shift. So one of my clients who is more in a lifestyle brand, that people would visit them on a weekend, finds that sending them out on Thursday night or Friday morning is actually a better return, better results. And the big part is that don't forget your mobile device. People who are on the bus, on the train, if they're your target audience, they will most likely be reading your newsletter or your messages on a mobile phone. So making sure that your email are mobile friendly. So I hope I leave you some thought-provoking ideas that you can reflect upon. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about what we have here to offer. So we talked a little bit about the lead nurturing system or different methods of lead nurturing. We also have different seminars that talks about how to measure what you have, and also using Google Analytics, as well as how to do the lead generation part, so how to bring in the traffic. Again, these seminars are only very generalized for your industry. However, what we have here to offer is something what we call the jam session. So the jam session stands for Juuga Actionable Marketing Session. It's basically an audit and a discovery session. So, and we'll tailor this to your business, to your website. And during our meeting, we're going to be doing a 90-minute consultation, one-on-one, either online or in person if you're in the same area as I am. What we can go through is that we can help you going through your analytics to understand who your target audience is. We're also going to be talking to you and understanding ahead of time to see who your defined audiences are, like who are your best audiences, and whether you are currently attracting them now. So we're going to be able to find out different ways to reach these audiences, as well as creating some campaign ideas and suggestions. So think of me as a digital partner or a digital doctor that can help you figure out what your website is doing, how are they currently doing in terms of searching. Are people able to find you using what keywords? How are you comparing to your competition? We're going to help you start with the analytics, understanding who people are coming, who are these people who are coming, what time are they coming, when are they coming, what pages are they looking at. We're going to be able to help you with the ad strategy. If you are creating a Facebook ad, if you're creating an Instagram ad or a Google ad, we can help you with creating that kind of strategy. Again, we can also help you with the social media, whether you're attracting the right type of fans in your social media, and see what we can create with the different ways to touch your customers. So what you can get out of. So when we go through these during our meeting, 90-minute meeting, what you can get out of is you can understand how your current marketing is doing, okay, and then making sure that you are aligned with your marketing goals for this year. So setting up a strategy for the upcoming year at the same time. So we do have a jam session signing up. It's priced at $397 as in Canadian, and once you've signed up, you're going to receive a calendar link to schedule a time, and then after that, we're going to give you a direction to access your web, your social, and your ad accounts. At the same time, you can invite your team to join in for the meeting. So here are some of our past clients. As you can see, we work with a very large range of businesses. And if you're ready to get started, feel free to give me a shout. And if you have any question, you can comment below, and you can call me or email me at the same time. Thank you.